We have completed a third of the races on the NASCAR Winston Cup schedule, and tonight it's the longest one in terms of mileage. The Coca-Cola Racing Family 600. Last week at Darlington was the second straight week we've had a race end under yellow compared to Frank Kimmel's upset win at Darlington. Update on him, he is well back in the point sheet. If he can pass Jerry Nadeau, who's holding on an 8-point margin over Elliott Sadler, meaning if Sadler wins and Nadeau has a problem, hypothetically, and Sadler can hold on and put together some good runs till Daytona, Sadler would be in. Right now, even though Frank Kimmel has won Talladega, he is still 35th in points. He is not in that top 30 range, per se. Ryan Newman is currently the bubble driver. We've got 3 rookies inside the top 16 for the playoffs. Crazy, ain't it? So, Charlotte Motor Speedway is home to one of NASCAR's crown jewel events, the Coca-Cola 600. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 5 degrees on the front and back stretch in terms of banking. This is one of the more hefty races to win, save to the Pepsi 400 and the Mountain Dew Southern 500 in terms of the richest purses. That and the Brickyard 400 in a few races. So, it pays a healthy $259,000. You can pay off a lot of student debt with that money. It seats 167,000 people, and this track's very first race was held back in 1960. Let's go take 2 laps around this facility. Charlotte Motor Speedway is built in the same vein as Texas Motor Speedway and Atlanta Motor Speedway, with a unique quad-oval design in the front stretch. Diving off into turn 1, you want to keep that car glued to the bottom lane when you come off, and then come off at turn 2, get close, but don't get too close to the wall. Then immediately arc it down into turn 3, but your car will drift. That is normal, but don't let it drift out too far to the wall. Dylan Murway starts 8th after that qualifying run. So hopefully he can try to improve this run here. He's trending up. Oh, yeah, that might have shot it. That just shot the run there. Yikes. He had a good run going, qualifying 8th. Nice to not pass a lot of cars on race day. Here is MRN Radio's Joe Moore and Barney Hall.
Welcome, everyone, to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's time once again for the running of the Coca-Cola Racing Family 600 here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. And MRN is here to bring you all the action. This should be a fantastic race as usual.
A lot of these teams are based in this area. This is a 2,000-acre dream come true for any NASCAR fan. I don't think there's a bad seat anywhere in the place. Always great racing to go along with it.
The NASCAR.com car comes to the track with the hopes of maintaining his top 5 points position.
Gaining on the leader is tough when you are in the top 5 in points. It takes you having a good race and the leader having a bad one in order to gain anything substantial.
Shane Hall really needs a good finish in this race. He's got a long way to go on the points list.
And, of course, nobody wants to be on the bottom of that points list. You'll have to work extra hard to pick up spots. Not an easy task to dig yourself out of a hole in this series.
John Andretti hasn't made much of a move in the points so far.
Yeah, those guys have been working so hard this year. It's a shame it doesn't really show in points. Just seems they can't keep that car out of trouble on race day. Maybe their luck will change today.
Gentlemen, start your engine. Let's see how they'll line up for the start. In the front row are the UPS Ford and the Sirius Satellite Radio Dodge. In the second row are the Tide Ford and the Ganassi Racing Dodge. Starting the race from row 3 are the Target Dodge and the Kellogg Chevrolet. The fourth row has the Interstate Batteries Pontiac and the NASCAR.com car. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the Home Depot Pontiac. In row 6 we have the Caterpillar Dodge and the 26 car. Starting from row 7 will be the Singular Wireless Chevrolet and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. In the 8th row are the 63 car and the Mark Martin Ford. In the 9th row we have the DuPont Chevrolet and the 23 car. In the 10th row are the 97 car and the GM Goodrich Service Plus Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 11 are the Sprint Dodge and the Pinzola Chevrolet. The 12th row has the Altel Ford and the Lowe Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Avalon Ford and the 17th car. In row 14 we have the Valvoline Pontiac and the Kodak Chevrolet. Starting from row 15 will be the Cheerios Dodge and the Citgo Ford. Rusty Wallace, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, will have his work cut out for him in this one. Row 17 has the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge and the 46 car. Starting in row 18 will be the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet and the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge. In row 19 are the M&M's Pontiac and the 27 car. In row 20 are the Bam Racing Dodge and the 21 car. Back in row 21 we have the 16 car and the Square D Chevrolet. And rounding out the field is the America Online Chevrolet.
All right. 100 laps tonight here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Dale Jarrett and Casey Atwood on the front row. We'll take a look through the field again. Couple Looney Tunes cars in the field tonight. You'll see them here in this little bit on this next flyby while I go and get a drink. Bloody heck. So, Jeff Gordon will be driving the Bugs Bunny car starting 17th tonight, the green Chevrolet. And Jimmy Johnson brings the Sylvester and Tweety Bird Chevrolet out tonight, starting 24th. Pace car is off. NASCAR's longest race of the year. Green flag is in the air. Boy, Dylan Murway got a great run. Casey Atwood got a terrible start, falling all the way to outside the top 5 in one lap. Dale Jarrett is the leader. Dylan Murway ducks way down low to get to Craven in turn 1. And, already Craven gets turned. And a big pileup already in turn 1. Jerry Nadeau, Ricky Craven, Mark Martin's involved, Kyle Petty's involved, Andretti is involved. We got a massive wreck already here in turn 4 at Charlotte. Casey Atwood is in it. Purvis is in it. There's another car with engine damage. I believe that's Matt Kenseth. That's last week's winner. So a big crash here to start this race, taking out many top drivers. Atwood gets in it, gets into the side of Craven, folds him over. So how about we're going to have to pit? No doubt about it, especially fuel and tires. There's a lot of damaged race cars after that. How many did that get? I'm curious. So a tough go early in tonight's race for Dylan Murway as several cars are well on their way to pit road. How many did that get after that crash? You're going to see a lot of damaged race cars. Kenseth is out. Oh, Petty is out. Wow. Matt Kenseth, Jeff Purvis, Scott Wimmer, Dylan Murway, Mark Martin. I think I saw Michael Waltrip in that. Casey Atwood was there. So Ricky Craven, obviously. So it's an 8-car accident that featured some very big names. Somehow Ricky Craven hasn't fallen out of this race yet. I'd expect a debris caution here in the next couple laps, at least, because there's a lot of torn up race cars after that one. So an early crash here on lap 1 involving Ricky Rudd, Casey Atwood, and many others, including guys like Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth, and Dylan Murway, who's beginning to charge his way up in points. Not a way he wanted to begin his night. Oh, Kenseth makes contact, gets into the wall. Looks like he seems to settle down there. And looks like debris on the racetrack possibly has brought out the second yellow of the night. We're going to probably see a lot of debris cautions in this race, I think. Probably from Casey Atwood by the looks of it, as Jarrett takes the caution flag here on lap number 8. Wow. Yep, Craven lost a hood. Surprisingly, nobody darted into the wall after that. But still, look at all the damage on Craven's car and Robbie Gordon. Gordon got damage. Robbie did, not Jeff. Jeff's car is clean. He may have got minimal damage from the resulting stack up, but Robbie Gordon's got a lot of damage to the front of his car. I'm surprised he didn't pit. I'm surprised Craven didn't pit. Guess they didn't feel like giving up track position. Oh, Atwood gets into the wall. Wow. Bit of a rough start early on to this race here at Lowe's, as we had a big 9-car pileup on lap 2 that took out some very big names, notable names too. Mark Martin was one of them. The other car involved, Matt Kenseth, he started towards the middle of the pack. He's out of the race. He's at the back of the field. Andretti with a lot of cars had damage, but the cars that really were involved in this accident, there were only 9-ish cars, but a lot of cars ran into each other as the result of the stack up. So, but in total, 9 cars really sustained major damage in that incident. Kyle Petty is already taking the early exit out to his shop. You can see his hauler leaving the speedway. 3 wide for one position for 41st. Casey Atwood is well back there in the pack. As Kansas tries to go high on Wimmer for 38th. As another debris caution has come out here on lap number 15. And it probably is for Casey Atwood, if I had to guess. Probably losing one part of his car. So 3 cautions already to start tonight's race. Pace car is off again, and hopefully we'll get some really good green flag racing in. Three cautions already in the first 15 laps tonight, and a lot of damaged cars already. And we're just getting started. Moore trying to make up as much time as he can after restarting all the way back in the 40th position after starting 8th. You can see the pack is starting to sort of spread out a little bit, but they're still in one big clump, as you see on the track map, with Dylan Murway battling for 39th with Steve Park, John Andretti, and looks like Scott Wimmer in the 23. Murway trying to charge the corner and maybe make up some spots. He's got Greg Biffle in front of him. There's Kenseth in 35th. Kind of hard to when you're in 35th and damaged after that early accident. Kind of hard to when half the field's banged up. Dylan Murray trying to get behind Greg Biffle and move him up the racetrack there. Ow. We're missing parts. Pretty soon we're going to be missing parts, and pretty soon there's going to be multiple cars out of the race after this. Probably after the way this race is taking a rather sadistic twist. And Andretti goes around and into the pack, and that will bring out the 4th caution of the night. Pace car is off. Green flag back into the air. After 4 cautions in the first quarter of this race, this may not bode well for later on. I guess at this point you might as well just play pit strategy up because of all the carnage that's gone on. Dylan Murray gets passed by Andretti. At this point, probably be a better idea to just settle in with the way the dark twist that this race has taken early on. Again, we do like to remind you that Pocono Infield is the next race. You can pick your design, the paint scheme that I can drive. That'll be after Chicagoland. I will stop taking those. Just give me an idea, and I'll design the car and make it as best as possible, and you'll feature it. And it will be featured at the Pocono Road Course, where hopefully it won't be as beat up as this. Because yikes. And that brings out the 5th caution of the night. 3rd one for debris. So yeah, that brings out the 5th caution flag tonight for debris. Green flag back into the air. After a race that has seen a lot of crashing in the first quarter and in a 5th of the race. First 32 laps has already seen 5 yellows, and we almost had 6 with Steve Park. Murray trying to do everything in his power to make up the lap and make up the ground that he lost after all that crashing. And Dylan's well on the way to crashing at this point after almost breaking loose on the front stretch. Got a car blowing up that looks like Rusty Wallace, the points leader, in trouble early on here at Charlotte. So he joins Kyle Petty in the garage. See Wallace on the apron. Out front, it is Dale Jarrett, who is still leading this race with Tony Stewart, Sterling Marlin, Earnhardt Jr., and Jeff Gordon in the top 5. At lap 40 tonight, since this race typically is run on Memorial Day weekend, from lap 40 to lap 50, We will observe 10 laps of the moment of silence for those who have given their lives to protect this country. It is a unique promotion put on by Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lowe's Motor Speedway every year in the Coke 600. A great way to honor those who have fallen and have died in the line of duty to protect the freedoms that you and me observe every day, that many of us take for granted. In 3 laps, we will begin the 10 laps of silence for those who have been killed overseas protecting our rights and our freedoms. Meanwhile, out front, Dale Jarrett is still leading this race. Dylan thought he had a good car, thought about getting by Craven after that to try to set his sights on Jarrett. That would have been a great battle to see throughout the night. But unfortunately, the crash happened. Craven still is running in this race somehow. And Dale Jarrett is still the leader. And yes, this 10 laps of silence is meant for those who unfortunately have passed away on the front lines fighting the COVID pandemic that has upended all of our lives, including our brave soldiers overseas and even your hospitals, your doctors and your nurses that have stayed overnight and stayed long hours trying to save people's lives while fighting this pandemic. We start lap 40 right now. By the way, this is yellow flag number 6 on the night. After 5 straight yellows in the first quarter of the race, we've had some clean racing for the most part. 3 of these yellows were debris yellows from all the damage from that wreck. Only 30 cars are on the lead lap up to this point. Dale Jarrett still can't seem to share the lead with anybody. And we are at the halfway point of this race. And you thought, after that first accident, first incident, yikes. Lap 9 and all those yellows afterwards, you thought, oh, this ain't going to take forever. Yeah, right. Quite a bit of damage, though, to the 121. I'll say that. Trying to make his way around. Curious to see how many cars are off. Oh, by the way, Dale Jarrett finally lost the lead to Tony Stewart, who attempted the Indy double last year when he ran the Indy 500 and he ran the Coca-Cola 600. So that's 1,100 miles. He almost won after running 1,100 miles, by the way. So two cars are on the lead or off the lead lap. 2 cars are out of the race. So seems to be a perfect balance. We're somehow running in 30th, and that brought out the 8th caution. Sorry, 7th yellow for the night. Kind of miscounted there. You know, with the way this night has gone, I kind of wish it took me out of the race for good. That little incident. See the lap cars, they're already lining at the tail end of the field for some reason. I believe they might have all gotten the wave around. Yeah, I believe all these cars might have gotten the wave around after that yellow, the last yellow. So I guess Dylan's going to be playing patty cake with 2 cars. Whoa, okay. That was almost big. Dylan Murray and Shane Hall get together. Here comes Terry Labonte on the inside. Trying to make contact. He's into the wall and collects Shane Hall. So that brings out yellow flag number 8. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 8 yellows of the night. Labonte and Hall crash in turn 4. And the yellow is out again. Mind you, the record for yellows in a Winston Cup race, 20. I think the record we've had this season is 14. There's plenty of time left, so I think we're going to have a shot at beating that record. Tony Stewart is your leader. Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Ryan Newman are the top 5. Dylan trying to hold the line. Look at the damage, though, on Casey Atwood's car. And Labonte, that wreck took forever to develop. Yeah, that crash took forever to develop. We're flooring it wide open. Look at the damage on the hood of this car. Somehow this car hasn't spontaneously combusted, which after this race, I'm kind of wishing it did. And yellow flag number 9 on the evening. And I think somebody may have ran over that hood. By the way, Tony Stewart takes the caution flag. In a race that has seen multiple yellows. And somehow this car hasn't spontaneously combusted yet. It's a miracle that it hasn't. Oh, wow, Labonte almost hit that. Pace car is off. Green flag back into the air. Hopefully Dylan Murway can begin his charge to the front. Still a lot of damage to Terry Labonte's car after that last incident with Shane Hall. As the field hopefully can get some green flag racing in. Yeah, the keyword is hopefully. Because there have been a lot of crashes tonight. And I mean a lot. As somebody's slow up ahead. Can't tell who that is. Couldn't tell who was slowing up, so I kind of entered a little high. Otherwise, that would have been a wreck. But another big mess. And Dylan Murway and Terry Labonte continue to war with each other. You know, I think those two will probably be DNFing each other if they get anywhere near. It'll be like the COVID outbreak, but worse. Or a small COVID outbreak, but worse. Much, much worse. 3/4 of this race is done, so we got 8 yellows tonight. Somehow we almost had 9. I think we're well on our way to beating that record of 14 if things don't change fast. "73 laps complete. Marlin is now your leader with Jeff Gordon all over his back bumper. If remember, the top 5 from this race, if we'll qualify for the last Jackpot 5 race at the end of the regular season at Daytona, part of the Daytona Challenge, if you will. That's the term I'm going to use, where we're going to be racing on the sandy beaches of Daytona, the Daytona Road Course, and the main Daytona International Speedway. That is nuts. some of the racing that they have planned to give us at Daytona after the Watkins Glen doubleheader, which returns from NASCAR Inside Line, by the way. Only this time, one of the races is at night. So there's a little bit of difference there. A bit of a preview over the next couple weeks. Obviously, the Pocono Roval comes to mind out in the Keystone State in Pennsylvania. Yeah, what's McDonald's here? "76 laps complete. Dylan Murway is pretty much not going to win this race or even have a shot at the top 35 after the way this race has gone. Starting with that big pileup on lap 2 in turn 4. Unless everyone in front of him wrecks. That's probably the only way Dylan is going to win at this point. "24 laps to go here at Charlotte, at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Marlin is still your leader. Dylan Murway has had a tough go of it this evening. Part of a very interesting stretch for him. Finished third at Darlington last on Sunday night. This has gotten interesting. Third at Darlington and probably finishing 38th here. Rusty Wallace's hauler has left the speedway after blowing an engine near the middle of the race. And Dylan Murway is well on his way to falling a lap down. Trying to look for a yellow. Probably going to get one here if there's a debris yellow. If somebody were to run over, especially if someone runs over that hood. And with that, Jeff Gordon barely gets the lead somehow. Marlin tucks in second. By the way, Jeff Gordon is your race leader. Dylan Murway is just falling a lap down. And there it is. Caution's out. And Kurt Busch looks like he has a problem. Yellow flag number 9 on the night. Marlin and Gordon continue to battle and race to the caution flag, and it looks like Dylan will not get his lap back. Jeff Gordon may have edged him at the line. Unclear if there's any damage to Kurt Busch if he hit the wall or not. But he did slow up. Immediately made it to the apron, so no further incident. Pace car is off. Dylan Murway tries to fight. Will fight to get his lap back from Gordon. Jeff Gordon is well out front now. Look at that. He is well out in front of the pack by at least 2 seconds as Dylan Murway continues to basically block both lanes because there's really no point in trying to race at this stage in the game. Sterling Marlin obviously is fuming right now because of this. As Marlin checks everybody up. Dylan Murway and Greg Biffle will fight for 38th. And it looks like Greg Biffle is going to go around on the backstretch. And that is yellow flag number 10. Ten yellows. Jeff Gordon is well on his way to claiming the yellow. He's probably already booking his ticket for Chicagoland as we speak. It looked like the car that hit him was Ricky Craven finally. The damage he's had. And how about the nice run Craven has had tonight? He's well inside the top 10 after being part of that lap 2 incident and racing without a hood. Green flag back into the air. Gordon's still your leader. Dylan has the lead. Dylan trying to block every inch of track. He brought the same car from Atlanta that he used. Oh, Marlin gets into him. And there it is. Almost. Somehow that wasn't a wreck. And wow, Dylan's just in full. And there it is. Front stretch. Johnson. Everybody crashing. Burton's in it. I think I may have seen another car. So it was Kenseth who rolls over. Bill Elliott's involved. And there's a big traffic jam behind them. So after that, 9 laps to go. Green flag into the air. Jimmy Johnson is out of the race. Yeah, so much for Dylan getting his lap back. At this point, with the way this race has been, I'm honestly not surprised that this car isn't spontaneously combusted. Started with that wreck on lap 2. Dylan Murway has limped this car around. And I mean limped this car. After that crash with Jimmy Johnson, he's pretty much on the verge of imploding. Six to go. Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Robbie Gordon with a nice run. He's planning to do the Indy double here in the future. Running in third, and this is definitely a good way to prep for it. Be incredibly fit and race up front in the 600. 5 to go. As Jeff Gordon still is your leader. And this may be another yellow. So that's yellow flag 11 on the night. Jeff Gordon has taken the lead. Got a little 3-lap sprint to the checkers at this point. So we're probably going to have 3 laps to be a 3-lap sprint to the checkers with the way this race has gone. This looks to be it. Jeff Gordon will win another Coke 600 under caution. With Marlin second, Robbie Gordon third, Earnhardt Jr. fourth, and Dale Jarrett fifth.
when that team worked so hard. It's a shame they couldn't get a better finish. Sometimes it's just not your day.
This has been NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, brought to you by EA Sports and MRN. Next up is Chicago.
The last race in the NASCAR After Dark stretch. So, race stats. In a race that took well over an hour and a half, 13 caution flags. Basically, a quarter of this race was under yellow. Jeff Gordon earned $259,000, 6 lead changes, average speed 87, a pathetic 87 miles an hour, and margin of victory 697 thousandths of a second. Cars that fell out of the race: Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle, Rusty Wallace, and Kyle Petty. After 8 fell out of the race, Rusty Wallace and Kyle Petty fell out early. Greg Biffle and Jimmy Johnson fell out late. Let's look at the rest of the top 10. We've had 6 lead changes tonight, by the way. Tony Stewart ended up 6th, Bobby Labonte 7th, Ryan Newman 8th, Matt Kenseth 9th, and Jeff Green 10th. Michael Waltrip, after being involved in that early pileup on lap 1, ends up 11th. Jamie McMurray with a nice run ends up 15th tonight. Ricky Craven, after having a strong run, being part of that mix-up with Greg Biffle, ends up 38th. So, 6 lead changes among 5 drivers. Dale Jarrett led the most laps, but Jeff Gordon ends up pulling off the win. So, take a look at the standings. Jeff Gordon will join Matt Kenseth as the third driver with multiple wins this season. Update on Frank Kimmel in terms of the driver standings. He is well outside the top 30. In 35th. Elliott Sadler is the cutoff spot in the top 30. The top 16 right now goes to Robbie Gordon after Jimmy Johnson's crash late. So Jeff Gordon makes a very strong charge to second in points, with Mark Martin being the points leader. So drivers' awards. So let's look at the awards. Dale Jarrett won the pole and the Gatorade Frontrunner Award. Jeff Green passed the most cars. Jeff Gordon had the fastest lap. Ryan Newman was the best rookie of the race. You can see why. And Robbie Gordon made the best pass in the race. Ryan Newman passes Jimmy Johnson in the Rookie of the Year battle, but long way to go to reach Dylan Murway's 3 wins. Dale Jarrett is the second driver with 3 poles. We still have 7 drivers who have won a pole this season. No winner, surprisingly, in the Jackpot 5. So the top 5 from this race, which, again, is Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Robbie Gordon, Dale Jr., and Dale Jarrett. If any of those drivers win at Daytona, which is the cutoff race for the regular season, by the way, any of those 5 win, they pocket $1 million. Chevrolet is a 6-point lead over Ford. Jeff Gordon is 5 laps back in the EA Sports Lap Champion Award. So Chicagoland Speedway will be race 14 and 36. Hopefully it's less of a derby. Good night, everybody.